Every family doctor's running 2 rooms hits that exact same wall. No matter how much they push, how much effort they put into the equation, they just feel stuck. About 20 patients per day, they take the charts home, they work in the evenings, and they know they have to move to something bigger, but they can't afford it. I know because I was there at the very beginning. Now I'm running a 7-room practice where I have a lot of support and I don't have to do this. Recently, Mark, a family doctor from the GTA area, reached out to me asking how can he be more efficient with just 2 rooms. And we jumped on the call, we had a good conversation, and in this video you'll see what can you do first if you run 2 rooms, how much it costs, and why most of this is actually for free.
So to give everyone a background, I'm a family doctor in the GTA area. And so I operate my own clinic with 2 rooms.
So I was to ask you first, I do have some thoughts for you. I want to ask you, like, we did talk before, but how many patients you see in a day right now?
So right now, about 20 patients a day.
Okay, that's pretty efficient for it. And your biggest bottleneck, I understand, is the rooming, right?
Yes, it is the rooming, and I think sometimes it's just the complexity of some of the patients. Like, for example, where some patients get discharged from the hospital, they need specialist care, but they don't have access to the specialist yet. And so the patient is in front of me after being discharged from the hospital. Those tend to be a little bit more, I need to spend a little bit more time. And so those kind of create some bottlenecks into our, my daily clinic flow.
So here is the thing about 2 rooms that nobody tells you. It's a huge bottleneck. If you are working alone without any help, you just flip room A to room B. But if you have someone working with you, taking vitals or preparing patients for you, and you are in room 1, you have to wait till the person in room 2 is ready. Otherwise you wait. It's super unsmooth. It's lots of stalling and interruptions. When I was working with my reception at the beginning, we created this little nook at her side, at her reception desk. She was taking vital signs for me. And this is exactly what I told Mark.
I think 3 gives you so many more options. And my thoughts for this is that, is there any place, because I know you run with a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any place like that you could dedicate at maybe reception or some sort of nook in the hallway that you could have the nurse collect vital signs and start a note, maybe even with a laptop on her lap, so you could just keep on seeing rooms, and once they're prepped, they're going to be thrown in room 2 while you're in room 1. But if not, then someone from the waiting room will go to room 2, so you see unprepped patient, and whenever she's ready, she'll send that prepped patient for you. Because if the situation is that you're room 1 and she's room 2, then you just wait, and it's kind of like you never can move at all. So
right.
Freeing this kind of like making this section kind of like a semi-third room would allow you to flip 1 2 1 2 1 2, and wherever she's ready, she gives you the prepped patient, and when she's not, you see the unprepped, and you keep on going.
So this is this kind of first unlock here, where you're looking for a space for yourself. It doesn't have to be an official room. It can be just a nook, a supply room cleaned up, a place where a nurse can have a laptop and the patient can sit on the chair. This way, you don't stand in the hallway waiting for the room to be ready.
So I want to go a little bit more detail into what sort of questions the nurse asks in the intake. So does the nurse do any prescription refills, any requisitions or charting? So when you come into the room, you talk to the patient, do you do any charting? Do you have to do any charting yourself?
My nurses do this within probably like a few minutes. I would have to look up my stats, because my fastest nurse is doing like a 2-3 minutes in room. What's the list of concerns for you for the doctor today? And I want them to say, which is a cultural change at one point, please make sure that's everything for the doctor, because once I done asking the question, put it in the file, you won't be able to add any more problems, which is the huge thing, to not have things on the list like, by the way, right? Door handle question.
Yeah.
By the way, I have a rash and my husband wants a refill, and your mind is already in room 2, but you have to.
That's like, right.
Costs so much. But overall, if there's like 3 or 4 asked, at least I have a ballpark of what I quickly.
That's right. That's right.
So that list, so my note is like half done.
So note half done. I want to highlight this. It's a completely different level of work when you're walking in and you have to fish out every information. You walk in and it's comfortable. You don't have to ask 100 questions in the room anymore. The thing about the electronic forms, I want to simplify this further. At the beginning, I made a mistake of sending very complicated multi-page forms that patients didn't want to fill. Now I'm realizing that it's just about having a list of problems with like several questions. So when you walk in, you can right away ballpark of what's going on and fit in with the questions when you're there. So it does take time to implement those forms for the patients to fill in as a culture. It's a change. They have to get used to this. But my advice is start it. Start with simple forms and then tweak them as you go.
I typically, for my efficiency, what I do is I don't do open-ended questions other than hello, how are you? Then it's kind of, oh, I'm seeing you have an abdominal pain for 3 days without diarrhea, without vomiting, but it's getting better. Is that correct? And if say, is that correct? Then it's already kind of you drive the conversation to a note. It's you probably fail an OSCE exam with that, but for efficiency it works. And if I feel something is off or they don't agree, then it's room for me to ask more questions. But overall,
that makes sense.
It's like closes the topic quickly and allows us to think of conclusions and more of in the mode of, are we missing something? Am I wrong here? Yeah.
Now I want to clarify something important here. When I'm driving my conversation to conclusions quickly, this is only because all the questions, relevant questions, were asked in the room without me. And I glance at them and I'm able to be faster because I don't have to ask those questions myself. And with the templates that I have the most common outcomes for the most common problems, and they mostly fit, such as cold and cough. We will not be giving antibiotics, we will be giving conservative treatment. The same thing with the most common back pain. We will not refer patients for MRI or surgery or emergency room, and this is already prepared for me. And if something is off, I change my course of action. I'm able to see it in the room and adjust.
If I use my templates in my typing, I'm beating AI scribe with paste and copy and spinning wheel any time of the day.
And the typing, like seriously learn to touch type. I am confident I'm beating AI scribe every time because I have half my note prepared. The other half will 50% of the time fit. And then on top of this, I'm typing without looking, and in about 10 seconds, my note is done.
What are the most common mistakes that people like me would undertake when we implement the model?
I think it's hesitating to delegate. I think it's believing that you hire an assistant and it will only cost you. It's possible to only cost you if you just hire and sit still, but if you hire and have the desire to make the best out of it, you'll make money on it. Now I have more capacity. I could just relax and have more breaks and more coffee, or I could just now, fill the same schedule with 2 times the amount of patients and see how it works. Then just using the time for more patients so you can buy yourself back the salary of the person you're hiring, so you can maybe hire in the next one. And it's kind of like you keep on moving that way. That's kind of what people don't see, I think, mostly.
I want to highlight this really strongly. Self-funding loop exists. It's real. I lived through it and I hesitated too. And I understand how this is a hesitation to other doctors who haven't experienced it. But that's exactly how I funded my whole entire team. One person creates opportunity, creates room for me to see more patients, which funds the first person, which funds the next development phase in hiring another. And in residency, we were never shown this. This is probably why it's a new thing for us and we're not familiar with it. In addition, we're trained to absorb everything. Everything's on us. I have a strong conviction that if you are able to feel the benefit from it, you'll never go back.
So in terms of new hires, like let's say I hire a nurse, and what are some of the training protocols or directives? Like what do you tell the nurse to do, or what do you look for in terms of like a new hire to help you with the clinic flow?
What I look for is someone who's able to take fast pace comfortably and learn. Because I have actually a few nurses, and one of them is the fastest. And I'm just being no longer than yesterday. I talked to her saying, "Hey, how do you become a leader of this team here and implement that pace that you have?" And she said, "I come from urgent care. You met me first when we worked urgent care, so I'm used to that pace." And a lot of this depends on the doctor, whether you create a good feel for your team, whether they can come back to you with question, and just be open and just like help them be their best. I guess that's a piece there, I think.
And hiring appropriate staff, creating a team, and being able to develop trust with the team back and forth, you to the person and the person to you, creates an immense value for myself. For those who are afraid of hiring, afraid of spending, in my past experiences, every dollar that I spend on my staff brought $2.1 for me in return. If you want to hear more about this, there's this video here that explains exact math, dollar by dollar, how it happened.
In terms of inbox management, so I know from your past YouTube videos, you don't need to take paperwork back home. When you leave the office, you leave the office. And, I think that's very impressive. What are some of the directives or instructions for the nurse to do so that they can manage the inbox effectively and efficiently?
I actually have my nurse now review everything, and she just sends me things she's in doubt about. Like if like a little bit of elevated cholesterol, or like CBC is super slightly off, and there's nothing really to be concerned. She just posts it. She just puts it in a system, and I don't know about it. But for the ones she has doubts, she sends my way. And then at the end of the day, we look at it and I say, this one do this one do that, and things are prepared for you, open on the screen, and you just make decision. It's like you're the chief resident, and you tell the staff, they help your team. They ask you, and you just give answers. You don't sit down and type, right? That's like completely different level of this. So
that's right.
That's what's good. And for prescription refills, I have parameters that I have trust in my main nurse. So she's refilling. My patients are stable unless they want some early refills on something that is a controlled substance. She lets me know. And if they haven't been there over a year, you feel instead of 90 pills, I do like 15 and typing on the prescription. Next refills after doctor's visit, so we don't have to call them, so they know. Sometimes they call like, why did I only get 15? Like, well, you want to see us. And then if they still ignore it, then we do 7, and then we do 3, and then they have to come. That's like a no phone call management of that.
So think about this one more time. I don't open typically charts to review labs. My team prepares it. They decide what to do because they're trained what to do with it. And if they have a question, they show me the labs or the question, and I decide. And if patients are not coming for their yearly exam, I just send them the less and less amount of pills until they come. And it requires no intervention from us, no calls, and it just organically happens. That system works. And this is how you're not gonna take work home. You're not gonna chart on the weekends. It just happens within 15, 20 minutes at the end of every day, and everybody goes home with no work.
How is your charges for extra fees, for out-of-pocket fees? How does that look like for you? Are you on the higher end? How much you charge for, say, I don't know, disability tax credit?
Right. So I think I charge about 100 for that. I seem to I do charge for that, but then I do have like a block fee. So for patients who have a block fee, it's completely covered. And so I do cover the disability tax credit forms. I cover the sick notes. I think about like only 10% of my patients would sign up for the block fee.
For sure. I think you may be leaving stuff on the table there. My disability tax credit is like $350. And I wasn't charging high, but then I started charging high, and you know what happened? Nothing. 2 people were complaining. 1 person noticed here and there, but then people just get used to it. They're with you. They will not leave you because of this. I probably make $300 to $600 an hour in paperwork.
Wow.
And I pay my staff, my nurse, for it 30. Okay. So that's an ROI 10 times, okay?
Wow.
So what I was thinking for you in addition, tell those doctors, hey, Dr. XYZ, I will take care of all your paperwork. If you have something, drop it in the box. If we have the same EMR, my nurse will take care of it. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to fill the paperwork, but I'll take care of it and I'll charge the patient. You just now are making maybe even double the income if you have a lot of doctors around you.
Very nice. Very nice. Yes, it's the system, right? Nail it and scale it.
So this is the very common reaction like Mark had right now, that you can make money on paperwork. And I think most of us family doctors, office-based doctors are undercharging. I know because I was undercharging for a long time and I was afraid, how do I lift up prices drastically from $50 to $100? And the truth is that you can. I know because I implemented block fees very late in my career, and only 5 patients of my large practice asked me for an exemption. That tells you something. And now, if we have the system where you're charging at the top of your bracket, you have someone to do the paperwork for you by reviewing chart and calling patients with questions. You can actually ask your colleagues, if you work in a multi-doctor office with the same EMR, you can ask your colleagues to maybe give you their paperwork that they don't want to do. So that person that's hired by you is going to do additional chart review, additional calls of the paperwork from your colleagues, so they don't have to do what they don't want to do, and you get more money per hour, so everybody wins.
Do you do online booking?
I don't. So right now, I don't do online booking. My staff does the booking for me. Patients just call, and yeah.
I've been online booking for a while, but it's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit, I think, with Ocean or other platforms. Now it's online. It's easy to book, open 24 hours. Start looking into it. That'll be my suggestion. It works for me. We ask some simple forms with questions that patients can't skip. That's another thing, because out of the box forms are not really good. And learn to build your own, and it's really helpful. And so what goes hand in hand with the forms is it's a website, right? Have a simple landing page, I don't know if you do, with kind of information that patients can find there, so they don't have to ask your front desk the same question, like, we're closed for Christmas, we open second day, but so people will know right away, here's how you book, here's a little bit about me, am I accepting patients or not? It's all there. So a lot of wasted questions to your staff could be answered like that. Very simple thing, online presence, 24 hours, and it's really, really helpful.
So everything you heard here costs almost nothing. A landing page, online booking, pre-visit forms sent by email, and it relieves pressure from your front desk. It doesn't add anything. It just is win for free. So this is like a Monday morning to-do list for you. Start here.
We're looking to expand into like a 4-room clinic. Is there any sort of things that we should know about, change to a bigger clinic? Is there anything that we can do differently?
The whole thing is a 2-room, you can already build the foundation of what you're gonna need later. So if you create this protocol, this connection with this person prepping for you, she knows what is expected of her. She feels satisfied with her work, and everything's done for you. Then you just put the same thing on a bigger scale. It's like a seed growing from the ground and flourishing for you. I think you're in a phase where you're gonna build like 90% of what you need, even with 2-room practice, and that's the amazing foundation to grow further.
That's very inspiring, very, very inspirational, because I have 2 rooms and it's really hard for me to move, and so I'm glad that I can already do a lot of stuff with 2 rooms here.
So Mark said here something that's really important. He feels stuck. He feels like it's hard for him to move. And I know this. Again, I experienced it. I moved from 2 rooms to 4 and to 7. But truly, you can build anything with the 2 rooms. And then with the 4 rooms, you multiply this. So you're not stuck. You're just early. Keep on building. So if you are a doctor that's stuck in 2 rooms and you feel like there's no way out of there, here's the short list for you of what you can do. First of all, find a space that you can use as semi-third room. Hire a nurse to do vitals for you. Implement higher fees. Charge block fees. Start online booking. Make sure patients can send you questionnaires before their visit. And hire for documentation, because that first hire will return the investment really quickly. And if I could grow from 20 patients per day to 80 patients per day, then you can do it too. So if you like this video, if you got to this point watching all this, maybe you know someone who would benefit from this. I would love if you shared this with them. Maybe we can create a community of doctors and clinic owners that exchange tips in the comments. I'll be really looking forward to it. And until then, take care of yourself first.